Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer. This is another cogitation. Not the best of weathers for being out and about, but I'm walking along Honeysuckle Lane, the bit where it gets past the car park and you start heading northwards. Is it Tolmere Farm? I think so, something like that anyway, that I'm heading up down towards at High Salvington, just north of Worthing. And the cogitation I have today is about food. Should we be paying more for our food? Maybe it's not should we, it's oughtn't we? Oughtn't we? I was listening to the radio this morning talking about, well, the number one topic that everyone talks about at the moment and has been for the last year, and that's COVID, and talking about the poor people in hospital and the vulnerable and the people who are younger than the older age group are those that have the underlying conditions, and particularly those people who are obese, who are at big risk. And it started me thinking about how much food we eat, the incredible availability of the food and the variety that we can eat, and the accessibility of it, and also our habits for eating. And that's what I want to sort of try and discuss in this cogitation. So firstly, these are just thoughts, you know, you can randomly agree or disagree, or not so randomly. Hang on, because it's cold and I didn't bring my scarf, which was silly of me. My nose is dripping. I don't know what the correlation between the scarf and the nose is, but that's what's happening. The reason I say should food be more expensive is not to punish people for eating too much, by no means. That's not that reason at all. The reason is that should we demand that our food be of better quality, eat less but eat better quality, and therefore of course the cost of the food would be more expensive. Food that has been grown locally rather than imported from around the world, food that is grown to a higher standard in as much as less fertilization, man-made fertilization, artificial fertilization, pesticides and fungicides, and all the things that are killing the wildlife and the nature, so that more organic food that has the nutrients and the vitamins in them by the sheer process of respecting and looking after the soil, rather than relying on the agrochemical industry and huge monoculture to produce the food, so that we have a plentiful supply in so much abundance that it's so easy to overeat. The other thing is, should we not get rid of processed food? Just get rid of it. The food in which we take original food, can't be bothered to cook ourselves, can't be bothered to turn raw ingredients into wholesome food that will look after us and protect us from viruses, colds, infections and other nasty things, and just say, right, okay, we're doing away with that, so that more time is given to the preparation at home. Now I know what you're going to say, because nobody's got time. But is that really true? People have got time to sit and watch Netflix or YouTube videos, including this one, to spending a lot of time sitting down doing not very much, nothing very important. And I suppose by saying should food be more important, I'm actually saying isn't or shouldn't or oughtn't we respect food much more? After all, food is the thing that keeps us alive. It is the thing that many of our ancestors for many years spent their lives trying to ascertain and grow and produce the food just to live. We take that part of food for granted now. And should we not have more respect for food? Should we not then come together as we used to do, cook together, understand all the different types of cooking that we could have and the joy of cooking, and then sit down as we once did not that long ago as a family unit and eat the food together, and while eating have a discourse, a talk, a chat about the day's activities, about the plans that we aim to do in life. Would that not be something that would also nourish us, and not just the food, but by eating the food, it gives us that family connection, instead of sitting down with TV dinners, processed food that we have no idea what it is we're chucking into our mouths. It's a lovely landscape here I'm looking at. It's a shame that the grass here is all Italian ryegrass. It's all that monoculture. So I would like to see, if I could have my way, a return to smaller farms, and many more of them. Less of the big companies that now run them or that manage them on a huge scale. Less of that, more people back on the land, not doing back-breaking work, but working the land on smaller farms with smaller machines, not these massive combine harvesters and massive tractors and things, but smaller ones in local places serving the local community, instead of sending them off to large distributors that then go to large companies and basically people that you have no idea, you've never met. I'd love to see that local food being produced by local food producers who you know, who you see about in your town or village or your city, so that you can visit the farms and you can look at the quality of the food and decide, you know what, it's all a bit rubbishy what you're growing, I'm not going to buy it, which would make those farmers and food producers more likely to be more responsible. I'm not saying they're not responsible now, but I'm just saying I would like to see a return to small mixed farming in which the community is served by the food that is made. The profits go back to the farmers. People are paying more for their food, but they respect it. That they know where it's come from, they know the provenance, they know that it's going to be good for them. They don't eat too much. They spend more time understanding how to cook and prepare the food, that it's going to be good for them. And that we return to a point where we respect nature and give more of the land back to the other creatures who live on this planet and that deserve just as much as we do a right to live and a right to find their food. And that we, instead of just looking for the fast buck, the biggest profit, the largest amount of money, for the fewer people, the people who've already got a lot of money, and these farms which are now seemingly run by, I guess, hedge fund companies, not farmers, not people who see the land as a way of life, as a duty, as a call. I spoke to a farmer the other day who I bumped into, and he pointed to his field and he said, what people don't understand is this is my industrial workshop. And my heart sank, because I thought that's exactly what it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be an industrial workshop. It shouldn't be an industry, a mechanised industry in which we and wildlife have no place on. It should be a place that we all are part of, that the community, like in the days of the haymaking, the community came and assisted on the farm in the production of food and were part of it. Not in a back-breaking way that we went before. I'm not, of course, saying turn the clock back. That's silly. But there's so much that we seem to have thrown away in the name of progress that I think is actually, or has been, a backward step. So somehow we need to put food back as one of the most important things that we could possibly produce and eat, because without it we are liable in these days of COVID and other viruses and other problems that we have to be susceptible to them. And we don't want that. Anyway, that's my cogitation. I'd be interested to know what you think, and your comments, of course. If you have enjoyed this, don't forget to follow, like and subscribe, become a patron, support what I do. I'll continue to get out and show you the landscape heritage and nature as much as I can, as much as I'm learning on the job, as it were. But until next time, thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.